Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Peachtree Cafe morning show, and we're here today on Tuesday, March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day in the world.
We're all Irish.
We're all part Irish, and unfortunately the parades have been canceled, but it's good to be with you again. And we have, my wife and I are here, of course, with Geshe Michael Roach.
John Brady, Connie O'Brien,
Right.
the O'Brady family. They're both senior DCI teachers, senior ACI teachers, senior everything teachers.
Yes.
And they both finished 3-year retreat. And they're both very successful business people. So, cool.
Well, thank you, Geshe, and it's good to be back to the Peachtree Cafe morning show. Today we have Octavian from Romania with a really good question about the sensitivity of his product pricing, and we're going to show you his video right now.
This is Octavian from Romania. My question is this: what is the best way to increase the prices for your products or services without feeling any discomfort? Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is probably a universal question that many manufacturers ask themselves, and I have a feeling that there are two parts to it. One is his discomfort about not having, worrying about the price increases. And that's a normal, almost like a normal reaction when you have to raise your pricing. The second idea really is, does raising your pricing sell more product? You know, and we can look at that from the standpoint of, you know, does raising your prices sell more product? Does raising your prices not sell more product? Does not raising your prices sell more product? And does not raising your prices not sell more product? So we have this conundrum of possibility, and we should address that for Octavian. So my sense is that, Octavian, what's the feeling you're having of discomfort? Is it the fear that you're going to lose customer base? There's a sense of guilt in your voice about it, not being certain. And I think we have to work on that from a seed perspective as well. Like watching the possibility of little seeds that you plant making other people guilty could be a potential to see this coming into surface with your product line and your dilemma of being worried about the price range going higher. Or is it simply an outer thing where you're just worried about not people buying your product because you raised the price?
You Connie ran a very successful restaurant in Vancouver. One of the most famous in Vancouver.
Yeah, and
So
I can...
how would you handle a price raise? If you had to raise the price for a meal, a particular, you know, like a particular salad or a particular dessert.
Because our costs go up all the time, and we were really concerned always about having the best ingredients. Yeah. So in that case, I would say, where I would go with that is it's more about the feeling of, I would say, planting the seeds to actually create more wealth, first of all. Because just to take it back to what JB said, the idea that you've got all of these possibilities and not one of them is certain. Since not one of them is certain, why not go to the source? Why not actually look at figuring out ways to to make sure more wealth comes in? So then if you do raise your prices, you will get more wealth. And then you're certain. I would go more that route than I would trying to make a decision about something that I have no clue if it's going to work.
Yeah.
I'd still go ahead and raise the prices, though.
I have to say, knowing Octavian and knowing what a nice guy he is, I think he feels shy, or he's afraid the customer will think he's cheating them, or he's worried that the customer will think he's a bad person if he raises his prices, and that. For me, it goes back to a trust issue, a seed for trust.
I see.
So if you have seeds, if you have planted trust seeds,
Right.
then you can raise your prices, and your customer will say, "That's fine. I know you have to," even without an explanation.
Could he also do something like just every time he sees people having to raise prices, he also feels very happy that they actually were able to do that for themselves? Because let's face it, you know, costs go up, families grow, the cost of your incoming goods go up, and then the cost of the outgoing goods come up. So why not just, and since we understand that for ourselves, understand that for everybody else, not to feel.
Yeah, I think the trust and the value of the quality of your product that you're offering is also important. Reestablishing that credibility that what services and goods you're producing and giving to the public are high quality, and that you have to continually remind yourself that this is a need, a necessity to maintain that quality, no matter what the conditions are in the, the conventional sense.
I like this thing that Connie said, and I think about it with taxes, and generally we are conditioned in our culture to think we should avoid taxes as much as possible. And honest people, even honest people, dishonest people obviously cheat on their taxes. Honest people will try to find loopholes legally to not pay tax. And by the way, morally, that's fine. That's okay. As long as it's legal, it's fine. But I think what Connie said gave me an idea. What about the possibility, Octavian, that you pay more tax happily, or you look for reasons to pay more tax, or you uncheat on your tax returns, and you purposely pay a little bit extra.
Right.
And then what Connie was saying,
I like that.
if you try to have that frame of mind about people you buy things from, and when they raise their prices, you think, yeah, let me pay a little more, because that will help their family. We just had the holes dug here for the sewer. The guy came with a big machine and dug holes for the new sewer for the toilets here. Right. And I gave him $100 extra.
Oh.
And he was blown away. And recently I gave my lawyer a bonus for the holidays.
Nobody does this.
And he said, I've been doing law for 35 years and no one has ever paid me a bonus.
Gosh, that's a great idea.
Seeds of generosity.
Usually, I think that's a great idea to think about all of those people that normally we kind of resent having to pay. We always think, oh, lawyers, they make
Especially
too much money.
lawyers,
that kind of thing. Or we're even resentful of people like politicians, how much money when we hear what wages they get. Instead of thinking that way, put a little bit of happiness in that they're getting something. Obviously, they deserve it. They wouldn't be able to get it if they didn't deserve it, because we know how the 4 laws of karma work. Or the 4 laws of seeds.
Outer methods, too, are interesting. Like, I remember in business, if you felt that the price was a little bit higher than an average person would want to spend, what would you do? Well, you would give them a $8 off coupon on the next purchase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And give them that opportunity that, oh yeah, this is a great incentive to come back to the brand and buy it again and have this 25% discount. Or
well, what if when, Jesus said, when someone hits you on this side of your face, then offer them this side of your face. And what if when someone charges you pretty high for something, you give them extra. You offer them some extra. And I'm if the motivation is correct, if the motivation is that they should have a better life,
that's right.
Then I think after that you could raise your prices, and people would be happy.
Right, or at least, the very least, he wouldn't feel that sense of guilt or worry about raising those prices, and that I think is really important.
And
Just to not feel that.
These are tough business decisions that you have to make. I mean, it's changing, shifting the unknown in the actual performance of the product. And
if someone's suspicious when you raise your prices, then that comes from a seed, right?
yes,
What did you do to make that happen?
A good question, Geshe-la. You want to know what
I'm just curious, what's a
What's
common
the
thing
common
that we do all day that would cause someone
To be
to
suspicious.
be suspicious when you raise your prices.
I would wonder if it's not our thinking judgmentally about what other people are doing, being suspicious about people's motivation, that kind of thing. But if
Trust as well.
and trust is there.
I like this idea that, all day long, every day, we make stories in our minds
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah.
other people. And whether the story is positive or negative, but equally, they are based on, you don't know what they're thinking.
Exactly.
Whether you make a nice story about them or you make a bad story about them, you don't have any real proof for how
Yeah,
they're
that's true.
thinking, So my idea is, you might as well make up
The
a nice
best story.
That's a great idea. I love that one.
I had a lady in the diamond business, a
Right.
employee, and she would constantly fall asleep on the table. And you're talking about diamonds stuck in her forehead because
Oh
she
my
would fall
goodness.
asleep on the pile of diamonds. And she'd wake up and there'd be diamonds stuck on her forehead. And then I decided, let's make a nice story that all night long she puts on a superhero costume and she's roaming the streets to protect people. And when she
nice.
comes to work in the morning at the diamond business, she's so exhausted.
That's great.
Her forehead falls in the pile of diamonds. And
I love
Yeah.
this gesture. So this will take care of the problem of when you do raise prices, that somebody comes in, a customer comes in and complains, and you won't get upset afterwards.
Yeah,
you have
'cause
this
they're-
nice, great story in your mind.
well, they're making a story about you.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
And so you can also,
And they don't know if it's true either.
yeah. So why
That's
not
great.
make the great story back again?
Might as well make
I love
stories.
that.
Make nice stories
Yeah.
about other people. So if we want
Right.
some concrete, give me a concrete takeaway for today. One or two.
One or two. Number one, just for the business side, I would just go out there and start doing things to increase the wealth to come in for number one. I would do that.
Plant seeds
Plant seeds for
to
wealth.
make more money.
Right.
Again, I would plant the seeds for the trust in the consumer that you're appealing to, and to me, that's that's an important thing, because I know, Octavian, I know you, and you're loyal to, I'm sure, your consumer base, and create those seeds to have the trust instilled, no matter if the price goes up or stays the same. Just reinstate that and plant the seeds for that.
My takeaway
Yeah.
is, listen, Octavian, it's only really good people and nice people who feel shy to raise their prices. So I would do coffee meditation at night. I know you have a new baby,
Right.
and
You probably wake up at night.
no, but I would just think before you go to bed at night, it's a good thing to be worried how people are going to feel
Yeah.
about raising your prices. In the Abhidharma,
Yeah.
2,000 years ago, those hesitations or those
Yeah.
worries of what people are going to think are the basis of all virtue, are the basis of
yes,
all
yeah.
good deeds. Only good people
Right.
worry what other people are going to think about. So I would celebrate
It's beautiful.
that you have those seeds already.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question for tomorrow for Stanley Nelson.
Yeah, let's give this this question. So, we have someone again, I believe, from Romania today. Let me get that up and running. Are you ready?
Hi, Gish Michael, and thank you all for these wonderful teachings. My name is Florin, and I'm from Romania. First of the 5 DCI goals is to have oxygen money. In a measurable way, oxygen money means to have passive income which is greater than your monthly expenses. So my question is, which is the seed to have passive income? Thank you for your answer.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Florence asking how to get to a point in my seed planning where the money's flowing in even when I'm asleep.
Sleep.
Even when I'm asleep, nice.
Now that's the goal of me too, and my wife, I think.
Well, you'll have to tune in tomorrow.
We're going to have to check in for Florin and the answers.
Thank you.
So until then, We'll see you.
Happy,
Thank you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day from the Irish.
Okay.